Welcome back. We're back. Who's back? I'm back. We're back. Learning to be vulnerable, despite being taught your whole life that it's wrong to be who you want to be, is something that is batshit terrifying. Don't care what other people think. Sounds like a very empowering statement. It is so commonly preached and promoted. It's everywhere online, and nobody stops to think, why is it truly bad? They're just immediately afraid of it and want it to stop. They want to rush to be liberated. That's why they bank on the easy idea to just not care what other people think. I think people share the common fear of taking action, becoming who we want to be, being afraid and cautious in every step we take, so that we do not cross anyone's boundaries. Because that is what's taught nowadays, the importance of not crossing anyone's boundaries, because we should be sensitive of how everyone feels at any point in time. To become truly liberated, one must first overcome his fear and alertness to let who he really is shine through. I truly believe the closer one is to their ideals, the greater of a person they are. Unless your ideal self is like a rapist or a pedophile. Mitchell. I also think that what others think is what makes the world go round. If nobody cared what others think, what makes a champion? All these competitions, combat sports, chess, any competitive endeavor will become meaningless. People will completely stop challenging themselves to achieve magnificent human feats. It's only because these feats are recognized by everyone else, which is what makes it valuable to achieve these things. Doing it for yourself is a fat lie to cope with the pressure of competition. And what about empathy? If you stop caring about what other people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. Haven't done this in a while. There will be zero acts of selfless. What the fuck? If you stop caring. And what about empathy? If you stop caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. And what about empathy? If you stopped caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selflessness. I'm keeping that. Fuck you. Zero donations, zero generosity. And don't give me that cynical shit that empathy is meaningless and the world will be a better place without pressure to care about what other people think, without pressure to sacrifice. Don't come here imposing your nihilism shit, alright? You haven't killed yourself yet, so shut the fuck up because you already chose to live. So don't force your retardation on me. Sacrifice is what makes living beautiful. What others think makes things meaningful. I think one should not aim to stop caring about what others think. One should care, but learn to reevaluate and operate on rules you set for yourself, whether the fear is worth it or not. And then seek to challenge the habitual discomfort you feel in things you're afraid to do but see no point to be. What I learned is that you can't really reason with fear. You can make up many reasons why you could be afraid, and no matter how much sense the reason makes, it doesn't mean that you'll stop being afraid. I think fear is inexperience. I think fear is habitual. You should not pray for the fear to fade. Instead, you should willingly walk into these endeavors that are terrifying and shift your mindset and create resilience for yourself. Becoming vulnerable is so damn scary, but it's what you need to forge great relationships. Properly confront life so you can properly start to live, liberated of these superficial fears holding you back. We have to hunt down discomfort. The only way to fear things less is to be fearful and do it anyways. Your mind will be conditioned to understand that just because it's scary does not mean it cannot be done. And you can kind of progressive overload this and start with, less scary things and doing it even though you're scared. Make it a habit, and then your resilience will slowly improve, and then you can tackle bigger and bigger issues that you are afraid of. We have to hunt down discomfort. Just because something is scary does not mean it is impossible. One thing you can do in the moment is to be very mindful of when you begin to overthink. Catch it, take note of it, repeat it to yourself. I'm overthinking right now. Like, say that in your mind, and then you'll be able to catch it. Kinda imagine yourself staring it down. Fully understand that you are overthinking, and it's okay to, it's understandable. Then slowly drop the thought. Focus on the moment, focus on your surroundings, focus on your sensations in that moment while you're overthinking. And then come back to the present. Don't get lost in your head. Focus on the present. Shut yourself from it. Trust your instincts and act on it. Opportunities will be given, and when you halt the anxious overthinking, your body will move on its own. And trust it to. Let it make its decisions. Whether it's capitalizing on chances to talk to someone, whether it's expressing something, whether it's volunteering to do something, offering your help, whatever it is. Let your instincts take over. I say this to all the, social anxiety people and all the low self-esteem people. And don't beat yourself up if the fear consumes you. Just remain mindful, focus on the present, and be proactive in whatever position you're in. Caring about what others think saves you from delusion. You'll be pressured not to lie to yourself because other people can see that and you care about what they think. So, of course, that will stop you from deluding yourself. Lying to yourself can lead to you running in endless loops that become very frustrating and depressing. Lying and coping can fill your life with resentment, confusion, and anger. We should be very careful about what we tell ourselves. And caring about what others think gives us a reason to be honest with ourselves, since others can call us out for that, for lying. So yup, we should care about what others think, but we don't need to associate that with oppression or suppression. Because of what they think does not mean that we have to stop what we want to do. We do not need to operate carelessly. We do not need to shut it all out. Soak it in and trust that being the person you want to be does not mean you'll be rejected, and being rejected also does not mean you'll be alone. Caring about what other people think does not need to be associated with negative emotions. We can choose to be liberated. We can choose to be who we want to be. Remain mindful, reevaluate positively, chase the person you'll be proud of becoming, and trust yourself to better work. If you stop caring about what other people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. Whoa! Haven't done this in a while. There will be zero acts of selfless. There will be zero acts. Acts. There will be zero acts of fucking peanut. And what about empathy? If you stop caring about what others think, there'll be zero acts of selflessness. What the fuck? And what about empathy? If you stop caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. What the fuck? If you stop caring. And what about empathy? If you stop caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. And what about empathy? If you stopped caring about what people think, there'll be zero acts of selflessness. And what about empathy? If you stopped caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selflessness. Fuck. And what about empathy? If you stopped caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selfless. And what about empathy? And what about empathy? If you stopped caring about what people think, there will be zero acts of selflessness. I'm keeping that. Fuck you.